Zach, appreciate you jumping on here. This schedule's messed from a fan's perspective. This is great. Is this a little messed up from your perspective for the next 6 against some of the best players on earth?
It's pretty crazy, but it's fun. It's different. It's fun. It's fun at the same time because you get to see the same guys. And if you like, for instance, the Ottawa series, we lost the first one. You get to go right back at it and try to get the next one.
I know the schedule is busy on the ice, but from what I can gather from your Instagram, it's also busy off the ice. First off, you introduced your son Theo to the world. Congratulations, one. And how's fatherhood/parenthood treating you?
No, it's great. It's awesome. I'm actually currently in my bedroom doing this right now because the other rooms are occupied with him screaming or eating or sleeping. So he's been great. My wife's been a trooper through this, and schedule's been hectic, and adding a baby into it doesn't help, but it's the best ever.
Does the baby do things that you already know the baby got from you? Like, how does that work? Are you seeing things that are Zach Hyman-ish?
I mean, he's screaming pretty loud, so he definitely wants to eat all the time. And
there you go.
I like to eat too. So
apple doesn't fall far from the tree. There you go.
Yeah.
We also know you are an author. You are a man in many hats. What happens later in life if your child doesn't like your work? Like is that awkward?
Well, right now he's only getting 3 books, so. That's all he's got is my 3 books.
That's it. Right. Monopolize the situation.
Hockey hero. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, that's all he gets. That's all that's on the shelf. Nothing else.
All right, so let me ask you this, because I know you're also a Twitch streamer. Like, some folks know you're the author, some folks know you're the Twitch. Like, what are you more looking forward to doing with Theo? Reading him the books, or down the line gaming with the little guy?
Oh man, that's hard. I think first the books are going to be first. I'm looking forward to that, but I have had him a couple of times. I'm the burper. So my wife does everything else, and I get him and I throw him on my shoulder, and I'm the burper. And I've had him on my shoulder, and I'm playing video games, and I'm kind of like trying to make him play. And she's like, "What are you doing?" And so yeah, I'm definitely excited to play video games with him. But the reading, I guess, will come first.
I do agree with that line of parenthood, by the way. Video games are important for the maturation of any young child. Zach Hyman of the Leafs here on Tim and Sid. Speaking of video games, Zach, at times last night, you look like you were gaming out there, like it was set on easy. 10 shots on goal. Were you satisfied enough with the type of action you had around the net, or are you super pissed none of them went in?
No, I think what I've come to learn in this league is it's hard to score goals, and you just have to worry about getting your chances. And once you get enough chances, they eventually go in. So I definitely had my share of looks at the net last night. Unfortunately, one didn't go in, but it didn't matter. We got the win. But yeah, just if you're getting your looks, they're gonna go in. So I was happy with that.
It's interesting because Winnipeg's back in action tonight, and then Sid mentioned your schedule. Like, people we interact with are really excited about the North Division. What are your early takeaways from the new division? Like, what have you noticed feels different about this year besides the obvious in the pandemic and the no fans? Like, just playing the same teams, have you already felt there's a bit of a difference between, say, last year and this year?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is that how important every game is, because it's all divisional games. So every game's worth 4 points in a way, because you can climb on a team pretty quickly, and if you have a nice winning streak, you can climb the standings pretty quickly, and then works the flip side too. So that's one thing. And then I think in the North Division, just the amount of skill there is, the amount of high end players and the speed. I think it's just it makes for really fun hockey to play, and obviously from a fan perspective, the rivalries, playing Montreal 10 times, it's going to be pretty crazy playing all those teams. And then also from a Toronto side of things, we don't really get to play Edmonton and Vancouver and Calgary and Winnipeg all that much, and this year we get them a ton. So it's definitely unique, and it's definitely fun, and the players you're playing against are elite and high end.
Earlier in the show today, we saw Pionk take a little run at Marner at the end of the game, and we pointed out a lot of other scrums in other games. Is it going to be hard not to get tired of the same guys over and over and over? I play in a 4-team beer league, and I'm going to tell you, I know the idiots by heart by now. Like, is it going to be hard to not get tired of the other team?
Yeah, I think that's what's going to happen, right? It's almost like you're playing mini playoff series with the way that the schedule's laid out. Like you said, we have Edmonton 4 of our next 6 games, so we're going to be getting a lot of McDavid and Draisaitl, and yeah, it's going to be that's where rivalries are built. You play those guys over and over again, and they're all divisional games, and they all matter. It's going to be fun. It's going to be crazy.
Zach Hyman of the Toronto Maple Leafs here on Tim and Sid. How different does this team feel, Zach? I know you're just starting here, but there are things happening with the Leafs that haven't always happened, like protecting leads in tight games, kind of closing out in an efficient manner. And John Tavares, after the game last night, when talking about Freddie, alluded to it. There's some more consistency with the group in specific, very important situations in the game. Do you feel this team is different in that regard compared to a plethora of other teams you've been on in the city of Toronto?
Yeah, no, I think that a lot of the guys have been here for a while now and have experienced, what we talked about with the late game, with the stuff that happened in years past. And I think that every game is so important now. And I think that the group that we have, at least in the early going so far, has done a good job at closing those games out. I think that even last night we gave Winnipeg a little bit of life at the end of the second there when I think that we had a really dominant period, and it's only a 1-goal game. So I think that we can still continue to get better at it, but I definitely think that there's a greater sense of urgency to close out games, especially in a 56-game season where every game, matters that much more.
This was Sheldon Keefe's first camp. Was that drilled home differently in camp?
I don't know if it was drilled home differently. I think that we definitely had a very high tempo training camp. I really think that this was his stamp on getting us ready for the season. I think that the training camp really set us up for success. It was hard, high pace. It was quick because the nature of the schedule, no preseason, so we really had to be ready. And I thought he did a great job. I thought that we're well prepared for the start of the year, and now we can kind of get rolling because there really isn't that much practice time.
Zach Hyman of the Leafs here on Tim and Sid. How weird is it not being with Austin Matthews?
Yeah, well, I see him every day. So
you know what I'm saying. Typical sharp as a tack, Zach Hyman. Typical. You know what I'm asking.
Well, I mean, I still play with those guys a little bit, but I played with Johnny and Mitch and Willie and Austin, and playing with those guys is a blast. They're awesome players, and I've got to play with Kerp and Mickey here a little bit, and I've actually really enjoyed it a ton. I think that we've really gelled as a line together. I think we've had some really strong shifts in the early going here, and we're off to a good start. We're 3-1, and I think we can continue to roll here.
It's funny. We talked to Sheldon Keefe about Thornton playing on that top line, but not playing all the time is what Keefe said to us. And I kind of did the Scooby-Doo, like I've seen it in play now. And sometimes it's the power play, and sometimes it's you on the wing with Matthews and Marner. Like, I think it's a compliment to your style of game and your ability that you can shuffle up and down the lineup. Like, did Coach Keefe explain the idea to you? And is it tough to be the guy who kind of moves around and plays with a bunch of different guys?
No, yeah, he definitely explained it to me, before he made the move in the summertime, and something that I was more than willing to do and happy to do. I think that, I think that people perceive it the wrong way. Sometimes I don't see it as anything different. I mean, it's obviously different in the sense that I'm playing with different players, and throughout the game you get thrown on different lines. But I think what's consistent is I try to play the same way no matter, I guess, who I'm playing with. And it's been fun. I've really enjoyed it so far, and enjoyed the way I've been, I guess, used to date.
Yeah, I think it's a compliment, honestly. I think it's a compliment to your game. Yeah.
Yeah, Tim, I agree with Tim 100%. Zach. See, I'm extremely insecure, so I would take it as a slight. But you know what you're doing, and in this league, you need to be versatile because I mean, especially with the way analytics are kind of taking over the game a little bit here. You need people to do a lot of different things. And it kind of leads me to my next question, because contractually, this right now is the end of this current contract for you and the Leafs. I think there are a lot of people in Leafs Nation who would quietly shudder at the thought of 11 not being out there. I got to ask you, how happy are you in the market? How happy are you being a part of this?
Yeah, I love playing for the Toronto Maple Leafs. It was a dream of mine since I was a kid, and it's the best. It's the best, right? So I love it. I love it here, and hope to stay here, obviously, for a long time. Contract situation, that stuff will figure itself out over time. Not too worried about it. Just kind of going out there and playing my game and just trying to win. I think that's the most important thing. I think every kid dreams about, the Leafs winning a cup one day, and would love to be a part of that, obviously.
Zach Hyman here on Tim and Sid. Before we let you go, Zach, from what I understand, you are a pretty proud Michigan man. And a pair of guys you know pretty well, and Zach Werenski and Dylan Larkin, dropped the mittens yesterday. Did the WhatsApp chat have a final judging on who won and maybe who took it a little easy on the other guy?
Yeah, I saw that. It was obviously before our game, but I was kind of surprised. But they were classmates and they're like best buddies in school, so it's no different than two brothers going at it and fighting. And I've had my share of fights with my brothers, so pretty funny that they got into it and they actually threw some punches at each other. I haven't gone around to messaging them yet, but I now that you remind me, I'm probably going to shoot them a note now.
Zach, as the youngest of four boys, I know that. Like there was one thing I know how to do. It's take a punch, and that's because I'm the youngest of four boys. So I know the brother analogy well.
Well, I saw some smiles in that last night. See, that's what made me laugh.
Yeah.
Like, how do you, Zach? If you're in that situation, and Timmy, you too, you played a little hockey. When you're into it with someone you genuinely love, like, how do you not crack up a little bit? You have to a little bit, right?
Oh yeah, 100%. They probably couldn't keep a straight face when they were throwing until somebody gets hit and it's like, oh, I want to hit the guy back. Right?
Yeah, that's exactly it.
When it's all said and done.
There's a very simple line to cross. I really should have figured that out.
Yeah.
Made it.